What's up, everybody? Welcome to yet another episode of Be For Real podcast. Today, I will be talking about Tommie. I will be talking about parenting, and I will be talking about pregnancy. So, if you want to hear about all of those things, make sure that you stay tuned. Before we get into what this podcast is about, I want to shout out my business, Crush on You Beauty. I have a lot of skincare and cosmetics that drop every day. So make sure that you go check out and support my business. And I want to shout out my sister's business, Empress Hair Solutions. She has a lot of different hair care treatments for natural curly hair for transitioning, and she also has earrings on her site, so make sure that you go check out hers as well. Now, getting into this video, I feel like when a parent does something wrong and they have no problem with showing that, my advice and my delivery may be a little tough, but it just seems to me that Tommie just really doesn't get it. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I am speaking on Tommie's daughter recently coming out, and she told the world that she's pregnant. She has pictures of her with her baby bump and things like that. And recently she came out and said that her mother and her aunt is trying to persuade her and force her to get an abortion, even after knowing the gender of the child. Now, if you guys don't know, you find out the gender of your baby around I believe it's 5 months. I found out I was having a girl at 5 months. And yeah, so you find out around 20 weeks what you're having. She already knows what she's having. And yet Tommie is still trying to persuade her to get an abortion. Why? Because she doesn't want to be a grandmother? Why? So all of these texts, her daughter put out all of these texts, and her daughter is 17 years old. Now, while it is it's a human thing, I would expect any parent, to be disappointed in some type of way um when you find out that your child is not only sexually active at 17, but disappointed that they are pregnant at 17. However, you know I don't believe in pushing anything on anybody who is an adult now. Let's be clear. Once you start having sex, you are an adult. You have to start making adult decisions. And one of those decisions is using condoms. You know, once you find out you're pregnant and you're having a baby, you're grown. You have to make that decision, and you have to continue to make decisions for your child, for the well-being of your child. And only a good parent will choose, whether to keep a child or whether to not keep a child based on if they believe that they are capable of doing the job. Tommie's daughter made the decision to keep her child because she is confident in herself that she can do the job. So, you as a parent, your job is not to keep trying to force abortion on your child. Your job is to support your child, but she knows nothing of that. I feel like she based what she said on how maybe her mom treated her when she found out that Tommie was pregnant. My thing is, If you ever want a relationship with your child, and a long lasting relationship, a healthy relationship, a loving one, don't do things like this. You can't treat your child like this in a very tough stage in her life and then expect to, once she has the child, support her. She's not going to want it then. You're handling this the wrong way. She says, in response, after all of these texts get put out, she says that attention is a dangerous drug. Yes, yes, it is a dangerous drug. You didn't give your daughter the attention that she needed in the conversation that she was trying to have because you wanted to persuade her constantly and consistently to have an abortion. She didn't get the attention that she needed from you while she was running off with boys having sex at a young age. Where were you? Attention is a dangerous drug. When you're not getting it from a parent, when you're not getting it from both parents, attention is a dangerous drug. But you can't bash her for that. That's your fault. You can't say that about your daughter when you didn't give her the attention. Of course she's going to run to the internet. Of course she's going to run to people that can actually support her and give her the advice that she needs. As a young as a young parent, I know how scary it is, and I know you know, how challenging it is to grow up so fast in this aspect, but I'm proud of her for wanting to take on this responsibility and not trying to find avenues to get rid of the baby or, terminate the pregnancy. Um because it is very common that being so young, you're not thinking about you dying. You're just thinking about getting out of a certain situation, and that situation is pregnancy. It does happen. I remember here in DC, there was a 15 or 16-year old who found out that she was pregnant and she stabbed herself up, and I believe that she survived, but within that just goes to show what some young folks are willing to go through to terminate the pregnancy and to get out of having to grow up. So I'm proud of her, and I'm just very ashamed of Tommie and parents like Tommie. And I can't even really call her a parent. I feel like this. I feel like a good parent, it just shows that you're a parent. Like, I remember seeing her on TV, and only maybe like 4 years later did we find out that she had two kids that were, in their teens. You know what I'm saying? Like, how does that happen? And a lot of them call it protecting their child, and it's like, no, you're hiding them. You're hiding them so that you can have a certain image on TV, and it's very fucking messy. Like, when did you have time to really sit down and be a rational parent if you were fighting on TV the whole time about a nigga that wasn't your baby father, wasn't neither of their fathers? Like, that's just foolish. Just imagine how many men that she's been with. And this is not to count her bodies, you know what I'm saying? But she's been through the ringer. She's literally been through the ringer of dudes. Okay? And she's only what, 37 or something like that, almost 40. It's time to slow down. This is my thing. I feel like women like Tommie, they are so upset that social media wasn't around back then when they were young, and they didn't have the plastic surgery and all that, that they're making up for lost times. Listen, you're older, okay? You're older. It's not about your ass and it's not about your titties anymore. You're about to be a grandmother. What's more important? Actually being there for your daughter that's pregnant, or showing off your plastic surgery, or wearing these skimpy ass outfits? Tell me, how does she, how does she as a young girl find respect for herself if her mom doesn't even dress or talk like she respects herself? But you're so hard on her though. How how does she find that respect for herself? How does she know to love herself if her mom shows that she doesn't even love herself? How? Somebody tell me. A young girl is the reflection of her mom, and not how she used to be, how she is now. You know, who did she have to learn from? If her aunt and her mom is trying to force her to get an abortion, who did she learn from? What morals is she born with? Was she born with to have a mom like that, back and forth in jail? And then she gets out of jail and she's not in her children's lives. Well, I pray, I pray for, I pray that this unfortunate situation that had to happen really strengthens her in the best way, and gives her everything that she needs as far as how she'll parent. You do the exact opposite. Don't be like her. Don't be like your mother. And in a lot of ways, I use that in my own parenting. I don't want to be anything like, you know, it's just certain things about how I grew up and with the parents that I have, that I don't want to make those same mistakes. I want to I want to do things differently so that my child doesn't grow up with the sort of resentment that I've grown up with. I want to do things differently, and you have to be conscious of that. You have to be conscious. You have to know those type of behaviors and know that you don't want to accept it from her, number one, and you don't want to treat your child like that. You don't. It's not fair. And another thing that I want to say is that she does not deserve your tears. She doesn't deserve you being nice to her. She doesn't deserve you acknowledging her as a parent. She doesn't deserve you. Don't let her say, "Oh, she knows what she did." You know what you did, Tommie. You know what you did. So, with all of that being said, selfish parents will never get anywhere or any type of healthy relationship with their children. I hope that she loses that whack ass Fashion Nova deal. I hope that she loses. I mean, what? She already got fired off of Love and Hip Hop. Is that why you mad and you taking out your frustrations on your child? What is it? I hope that you save some money from that, because she doesn't deserve a spot back on there. Mona, you know what to do. Ban her completely. Sink the ship. She doesn't deserve anything. Give her daughter that position. Give her daughter her own show. Give her daughter the opportunity to make the money that she made times 10. So, with all of that being said, I wish her the best. in her parenting journey. I wish her the best in her healthy relationship with her child. And thank you guys for listening. It's your girl B Octavia, and I will see you guys in the next episode of Be For Real podcast.